Querida Apple.
Привет, Apple.
Dear Tim.
尊敬的 Apple 公司。
Hello, Mr. Cook.
Вам пишет Киборг.
I know you may never read this, but I just wanted to put it out there.
I live in Massachusetts.
I'm a country boy from small town Mississippi.
I'm a two-time Olympian.
Eu sou bailarino.
我是一个盲人跑者。
I'm the father of a 9-year-old.
I am a 99-year-old world traveler.
Every day for the last 2.5 years, I have worn this tiny computer on my wrist.
This is the first time I've worn a watch since my bar mitzvah.
I was a scrawny, sports-hating kid who never really liked being active.
I was coming back from a knee surgery.
While I was never fat, I was the proud owner of a dad bod.
I fell into a deep depression and weighed 250 pounds.
Теперь каждый день я стремлюсь закрыть все кольца активности.
Now I get up at 5 a.m.
If it's 5 minutes to midnight, I'll do push-ups in my bedroom.
I'll take the dog out for a really quick walk around the block.
I walk around the house and my family thinks I'm a little crazy.
I dutifully oblige when the Apple Watch reminds me to stand up every hour.
С Apple Watch я становлюсь лучшей версией себя.
I ran my first Spartan race in December and ran a full marathon in February.
Agora eu consigo checar em como meu corpo está respondendo a múltiplos ensaios.
至今 ，Apple Watch 在我跑步时给了我很多的帮助与支持。
Dear Mr. Cook, our daughter was recently diagnosed with type 1 diabetes.
My car rolled over 3 times and my phone landed far out of my reach. Once I collected my thoughts, I remembered my Apple Watch had the SOS feature.
After being rushed to the emergency room, I was diagnosed with a condition that was causing my liver, kidneys, and heart to start shutting down.
The integration of her glucose monitor with the Apple Watch lets us make sure her blood sugars don't go to dangerously low levels.
For 6 minutes, I hung there in my car talking to a dispatcher until help arrived.
Had I not been wearing my Apple Watch, I never would have sought medical attention, which in turn saved my life. Sincerely, Paul.
Thank you so much for creating something that does not make me feel old.
Thanks for listening. Avi.
Sincerely, Stuart.
祝维华敬上。
All the best, Kara.
Sincerely,
Jill.
Casey.
С благодарностью, Дмитрий.
Muito obrigado, Giovanni.
On this particular day, I finally got up and I was flying above the water. I got quite a ways out there and it ended in a spectacular crash.
I'm trying to figure out why it would make sense for a 13-year-old to need a watch like this. Jim's like, this is gonna give him an edge and be able to train and get ready for his sports.
I was on my way home with my son Parker. At the time, he was 9 months old.
There was one morning I had these incredible heart pains and I was short of breath and we were walking up this hill. My watch just kept dinging at me and it was like, you have elevated heart rate. What's going on? I'm like, I'm just walking, That heart rate alert just kept going off and off. And I was like, okay, this isn't normal,
I was probably about a mile offshore. This kite is, bobbing underwater and the lines are underwater and it's all wrapped around the fin. So I sort of swallowed my pride and began to gather my gear to do what's called a self-rescue.
Jim had come downstairs and told me that, hey, Dad, this is really weird, but, look at my watch. It's showing my heart rate is, 150 beats per minute. So we called his doctor. She said, you need to just take him to the hospital.
We were stopped at a red light. Out of nowhere, completely blindsided, Parker and I got hit by a drunk driver going 62 miles an hour.
I go get the scan, and sure enough, they find a bunch of clots in my left lung. And they rush me out of there immediately. They're like, stay put, don't move. These things can dislodge at any second.
I kept swimming and I kept swimming and it didn't seem like I got any closer. And I looked at my watch and thought, wow, I'm gonna try this out. I hadn't even tried a call from the water. Called my son. He was able to text me the number for the rescue boat.
It was weird. They just started filling the room. So I go from having like 2 nurses and a cardiologist and the attending emergency room doctor in there to suddenly more and more people are getting in there. By this point, his heart rate was just going, 175, 180 beats per minute, and it just steadily staying there.
The only thing that I could comprehend was sound. And in that moment, I grabbed down and I felt my wrist and I felt my watch. And I immediately said, Sierra, call 911. The ambulance was able to ping where I was at, and the police officer was able to hand us over to the medical team.
Yeah, so when I found out that I had the clots, like my entire life flashed in front of my eyes. The main doctor at the ER was like, if you waited like a couple days, you probably would not have made it.
They were getting ready to push another medication, and then the cardiologist comes in there. He looked at me and says, I just want you to be prepared. If this does not work, you're gonna be airlifted. And it just kind of hit me how serious this was. Everybody in that room was just quiet. I mean, just watching that monitor, all staring at it. And then all of a sudden, came down, and he was okay.
The Apple Watch enabled me to take control of my situation, whereas previously I wasn't able to do that.
It saved my life. It saved Parker's life.
That was hard. The idea that I almost lost him, so it makes me appreciate him a little bit more.
My name is Michael Jackson. I'm from Duluth, Minnesota, and my dad's name was also Michael Jackson. And he's older than the famous one, so I like to say we got it first. I have what's called spastic quadriplegic cerebral palsy. I was born premature. My family is very important to me. I like to call my mom Supermom. She was a nurse, and she still is a nurse to this day, even though she doesn't have her license anymore. You never lose that, and she's a great mom. One day, I started to feel a little bit off. A short while later, I actually woke up from a notification on my Apple Watch that said that my heart rate was above what my limit was for a period of rest. And when I got to the ER, it was determined that I had sepsis. In times like that, it's really scary because you don't know what's going on and what's going to happen. So the Apple Watch really helped mitigate the risk that I was facing. I've always admired Apple, but I've never thought that I would have ever admired Apple for potentially saving my life, because that's what the watch did.